Greetings, Minecrafters, and welcome to another exciting discussion. I'm so happy to be back in my fun little happy office. My name is Kimberly Quinn, and I am here today to have another Minecraft discussion. We said that on, becoming the boss of your brain. It is just so important. Thoughts come first, and feelings second, and actions or behaviors first, which is why it's so important to get control of this. What goes through here, super important. Okay, so today we're going to talk about symptoms of authenticity. And it's interesting because we often talk about, oh, it's snowing. I love snow. It's my favorite. Wow. If you lean out, like, you can, like, see Lake Champlain. Well, not today because it's snowing, but anyway, it's a beautiful view. So symptoms of authenticity, so often we say symptoms and it's like bad thing, bad thing. Symptoms of the flu, symptoms of, you know, mood disorders, symptoms of addiction, symptoms. And you know what? Symptoms don't have to be that, because on our way, we've been talking about all this, a good, authentic conversation about being, about you being on the path to authenticity. And so there are some symptoms that start to show up. That I have 10 that I just came up with earlier. Well, I was actually thinking about it in the Jeep on the way here, and also inspired by Wayne Dyer, so I'll bring him in too. But he was talking about something a little different, it's my inner peace, but there's a lot of overlap. So the first one is you start to, when you're becoming authentic, you really start to live in your own frame, like a picture frame. Like there's the Beatles, they're living in their frame right there. So like you stay in your own frame as opposed to other people's frames, because you feel so freaking good in your own skin. And so you're not out here getting the external approval and living in their lives and wanting their successes and desires and just wanting their approval and wanting kudos and wanting appreciation, because you're living in your own frame inside there, and because you just feel so good in your skin. And then the second one is you're just genuinely happier. It's not just a fleeting moment of happier. You just, because you are in your own frame, the happiness is all right here. It's like you kind of wear it, honestly, like an aura. So you're happier, which also can lead straight to joy, which is happier amped up, like a joyful moment. And I'll explain to you a joyful moment I just had Saturday. And it's not a huge story here. My best friend from college finally got her she shed for her crafts, and she's also had a kind of a rough go the past year because of life. That just stuff happens. And she's such a very optimistic person, and she finally got this completely redid this back room behind their garage into like a craft room, which is her favorite thing in the whole world. And when she said, "Oh, just quick," we had gone to dinner. "Quick, just come in and see my she shed. All new floors, new lights, new paint, and it's all seashells and the Cape Cod like she loves." And I walked in, especially knowing, the rough go the last year. I was absolutely I was overjoyed for her. I just, like, this is for you, and this is everything you love. And she's at her happiest when she's doing crafts, soaps, and all this stuff. So I actually was overtaken with joy for her in that moment, which I'm pretty sure I said to her. Okay, the next one is that we're less reactive. We're less reactive. Remember we talked about Shenpa, which is that like surge. Somebody said something that's unkind or snarky or salty. I mean, it can be deep, doesn't have to be deep. It can just hit us the wrong way. We don't want to just go boom, you know what I mean? Or somebody's just in a crispy mood or whatever, and we're less less apt to reacting to Shenpa. Remember that the Shenpa is like a little itty bitty, or can be bigger actually, volcanic eruption inside us that just, it's that where we just want to say something right back, like a knee-jerk reaction. When we're becoming more authentic, we have less of that. And remember that the bar is not set at perfect. Don't like that, okay? Set it to our best. But as we are progressing along the path of authenticity, these are some symptoms that start to show up. And maybe one or two at a time, maybe one on this day, a different one on the other day, two on that day, one on this day, all different combinations. But we become less reactive overall. Doesn't mean you don't have a moment, of course you can. But overall, the percentage goes down, let's say it that way. We also really have an extremely diminished desire to judge people. And that's why I said diminished desire instead of like a lack, because we're human and that can happen sometimes. We really don't have the desire to judge people because we kind of get it, even if we're not thinking it, we kind of get it internally that whenever somebody judges somebody else, it says 0 or close to 0 about the person being judged and 99+% about the person doing the judging. They're coming from a broken place, insecure place, angry place, whatever place. But when somebody's being critical, it's about them and not you. And so we get that. So we're also just less apt to do it. It doesn't mean we don't have a moment, like I said, because sadly, judgment can feel really good. It's like this immediate rush. Though it happens less often when we're on the authentic path. And then, that led to, okay, we certainly don't have any interest in conflict or harm. Not that conflict is a lot of fun, but some people really like to dig their nails in, they just do. Especially if they're feeling that righteous anger and they feel right. So the authentic person is going to sort of opt in for the, it's better to be kind than right for the most part, right? And just kind of steer away from it. Then there's something I remember, it's coming to me right now. What book is that? It's the word is, I think it's Sanskrit, and it's ahimsa, do no more harm. And the thing is, somebody is on the authentic path. I want to say it's John Kabat-Zinn. Anyway, it doesn't matter because the word is Sanskrit. Ahimsa, do no more harm, do no more harm. And the reason is somebody on the authentic path doesn't have a desire to harm anybody because they're also filled with gratitude, which is the next one. We reside, those of us who are way into the authentic journey along the path, that just reside in gratitude. And then that leads to my next one, which, oh my God, I just knew this morning this was going to come into a video. I just didn't know what it was going to be called. I was out with little Giovanni, snowshoeing, and we went way earlier than usual because I had this, Sean the Amazing is working on the bathroom. And so we got out of there to get out of his way, and it was kind of earlier, and oh my God, the colors and the snow and I can't even possibly do justice describing it to you. It just looked, oh my God, it was just so gorgeous. Anyway, so the gratitude led to an overwhelm. Like, it was gratitude amped up, like an overwhelm of appreciation. And when your authentic self is in the driver's seat, you have these moments. I didn't plan that. I was trying to get out of Sean's way. I mean, I knew it'd be fun to go on a shoe with little G, of course, but I had no idea it was going to be like intoxicating. It was a total sensory overwhelm in a good way because it was little tiny flakes too. Oh my God, just so pretty, and nobody else was there. It was all us. Usually there's not a lot of people there, but oh my God, we had it all to ourselves. And this part here, I was listening to Wayne Dyer on the way in, inspired meaning in spirit, and he says really you can separate it into two things when you're talking about gratitude and appreciation. There's depreciate when we do that to people and find ways to elevate ourselves by bringing them down, or just bringing them down for whatever reason. That weakens us, even if it gives us some kind of little charge in the moment because we feel like they deserved it, whatever. In the end, it weakens us. So when we depreciate, it weakens us. Think about it like jewelry. If it goes down, it loses value, right? And when we appreciate, it strengthens us in a genuine sense and strengthens other people, usually in our midst too. Okay, so number 8 is passionate, because we just, when we're authentic, we are driven around by our inner voice. You hear me talking about that a lot, because that's how I land places. I mean, not just professionally, but that's how I have the best, I meet the coolest strangers. I love meeting strangers. I've met the most interesting, big-hearted, humanitarian, colorful, all of it. Just met the coolest strangers. And when we are following our inner voice, we meet cool people. We also land in cool callings because we're driven to our calling by the inner voice, which is why I'm here doing what I love. And I just love every minute of it. It doesn't even feel like work, honestly. And that also leads to, what else did I say here? Oh, when we're being, sort of following our passion, doing our calling, we also we sort of just feel this connected, it is spiritual, it's totally spiritual. You can't even do your passion without being spiritual. I hate to break it to you. You gotta have a connection to, and acknowledge your source with a big S, God for me, or higher power, universe, whatever you want to say, creator of all things, but that's just part of this whole thing. You can't become authentic without having that divine, or realizing, understanding, acknowledging your own divine connection to everybody else. That's just how it is. So we realize this connection to others, but it's different than just like if you were going to say it to somebody. Like, we're all connected, or the collective consciousness, like Carl Jung used to talk about the collective consciousness. It's not just a saying or a doing or anything like that. it's like you're at another level. Like you actually feel it. Like what I do to myself affects you. What you do to me affect like in a way that's just this universal. I don't know how to explain it, but there's a hyper awareness of being all connected together, which is so cool. And then lastly, this is like so Abraham Maslow. He's one of my two favorite psychologists. The other one is Viktor Frankl, who I also love. Is you become aware of that you have like whatever your purpose is, the inner voice is bringing you to there. Your own divine, being your best Jonathan or your best Raphael or your best Melissa or your best you. You really, when you're on that highest, like high or highest, anywhere in the high vibration of being the best version of yourself, you also get that whatever your purpose is. I don't care if you're a doctor, lawyer, teacher, yoga instructor, recycling collector, custodian, whatever you are, you get this feeling of having a purpose that's bigger than you are. And it doesn't really, it's independent of what it is that you do. It's just, it's so hard to explain, but that's called self-actualization. And that is at the like the top of Abraham Maslow's pyramid, if you want to look that up, because Abe is the best. He's just so cool. Anyway, so that's it. The symptoms of authenticity. You may see one here and there, may see two or three, but these start popping up, then you are rocking and rolling. All right, this is Kimberly Quinn signing off from my very fun office at the amazing Champlain College in Burlington, Vermont. Have a mindful, authentic day.